And welcome to a brand new, very, very, very special episode of Do It for the Underground. Was that very enough for you? Do you want a couple more little varies, you little baby? Well, guess what? Too bad. You got 3, and that's the max. Welcome back to our show. This is a very special episode. There's one more for you, 4 total varies. Very special in the sense that, as you may know, the Gathering of the Juggalos just ended so recently that we obviously don't have time to collect and edit footage from it. So, in lieu of waiting a long time or giving you like a partial Gathering recap that only goes up into a certain number of days into it and then ends dramatically, we didn't want to do that. We'll give you the full Gathering of the Juggalos 2024 recap, news, clips, live performance special next time in 2 weeks. This week we're doing something a little bit different. Usually we focus on news, new artists, things of that nature. Today we're taking a trip back.
We have to go back.
We're digging into the classics, baby. This is Do It for the Underground, Goats Only edition. That's right. We're only talking about the greatest of all time in the field, in this scene. And we got 2 greats for you. We got Fatz King with an in-depth look at A Beautful Curse, the debut and tragically the only solo album from Geno Cultshit from Dark Half. If you know anything about Geno, you know that he tragically passed away in August of 2015, making this roughly the 9-year anniversary of his passing. And we thought, let's put some shine on Geno. Let's tell the people who might not know why they should care, and remind the people that do care of just how fucking great he was and how great that record is. So, Fatz King, Beautful Curse, deep dive, Geno Cultshit, let's go. And me, your host, Robbie, will be doing an in-depth, deep dive discography breakdown, a beginner's guide, you might call it, to Low Key, who, in my humble, personal opinion, very humble, very personal, is the greatest the Underground has ever seen. We'll get more into that in just a few, but first, we'll start you off with a little music video just to get things loosened up. If we're talking about the GOATs, we would be remiss to not talk about insane poetry. That's right. You know him from LSP, you know him as a solo artist, as one half of Triple MFD, you know him for his luxurious gray beard, one of the earliest horrorcore artists on the West Coast, if not the first, right up there with Brother Lynch Hung. And for this music video to start us off, we're going to take you all the way back to 1992. That's right, 32 years ago, to his debut solo album, Grim Reality, with the single, How You Gonna Reason with a Psycho, right here on Do It for the Underground.
How you gonna reason with a psycho? How you gonna reason with a psycho? How you gonna reason with a psycho? Tell me how in the world you gonna reason with a psycho? How you gonna reason with a psycho? How you gonna reason with a psycho? How you gonna reason with a psycho? Now tell me, how you gonna reason with a psycho? This is a song from a gruesome rapper, written from the blood of the psycho himself. One maniac brother, headhunter, vision of a beast, the priest's worst nightmare, brought to life at the midnight hour on the darkest night on earth. A mother gave birth in the surroundings of a hungry animal sector. Some say my father was Hannibal Lecter. Only moms knows the truth about me. Only her soul can set my soul free from the demented mind I carry. I keep getting crazy visions in my head of robbers dead. At age 5, I started threatening lies, using ropes, chains, and even butcher knives. Not a normal kid is what I did from being bored. Playing with tarot cards and Ouija boards. Young psycho growing up straight wicked. You just ask yourself, why do I act like that? Ask my mom, she might know, but she'll tell you how you gonna reason with a psycho. How you gonna reason with a psycho? How you gonna reason with a psycho? How you gonna reason with a psycho? Tell me how in the world you gonna reason with a psycho? How you gonna reason with a psycho? How you gonna reason with a psycho? How you gonna reason with a psycho? Tell me how in the world you gonna reason with a psycho? I'm a serial killer on the loose, yes, and the cops don't know where I'ma strike next. Last house I left was a nice hit. Stabbed the second 30 times with an ice pick. 9/11 looked baffled, between perplexed at the sight of a bloody body that gave me shits. It's a master style murder, you know. And one time can't figure out my MO. Grimbo was a slab with a tag on his feet, on a stretcher covered by a white sheet. I just spotted the next house for the slaughter. Better pray that your daughter ain't at a crib. I just wait and creep with the patience, laying low in the basement. She got caught slipping, taking a bubble bath. Drug her down the stairs, tied her ass up to a wooden chair. Then she knew I was a psychotic lunatic, begging and pleading for a life, didn't help a bit. I came to kill for a thrill, not for your wealth. Before I cut your throat, just ask yourself, how you gonna reason with a psycho? How you gonna reason with a psycho? How you gonna reason with a psycho? Tell me how in the world you gonna reason with a psycho? How you gonna reason with a psycho? How you gonna reason with a psycho? How you gonna reason with a psycho? Tell me how you gonna reason with a psychotic lunatic? Yeah. I'm a maniac psycho. Yeah. I'm a maniac psycho. Yeah. I'm a maniac psycho. Yeah. How you gonna reason with a maniac psycho? June 6th, the 6th month, at 6 p.m. That's when the mayhem will begin. I haven't done a homicide in 12 days. Now I'm riding down the streets of L.A., packing a 10 double M ready to let off. Just itching to blow somebody's head off. People pass, but I'm looking for a bigger score. Oh shit, I spot an open liquor store. Parked the car, step in with a big coat. Walk to the back, put my chin to a nigga's throat. Boom, was the sound, the sucker fell down. Like he forgot he had an appointment with the ground. The cashier hit the lumber, got caught. Put my chin to his head and said, what you thought? He saw my piece with bullets unsurmountable. Don't make a move, I put your brains on a counter, fool. Open your mouth. I shot a pistol down his throat. The sucker just shook like a scared goat. I ain't no mercy given or even felt. Before I blow your motherfucking head off, ask yourself, how you gonna reason with a psycho? How you gonna reason with a psycho? How you gonna reason with a psycho? Tell me how in the world you gonna reason with a psycho? How you gonna reason with a psycho? How you gonna reason with a psycho? How you gonna reason with a psycho? Tell me how in the world you gonna reason with a psycho? Grim Reality's the name of the LP, written by the Psycho Streaking MD. Insane poetry, bringing you one step closer to the edge of insanity. This is just a smidgen of what the album's like, G. And I'm stalking with the night breed. Never stopping till the suckers is all dead. Two serial rap killers with ball heads. Plus I'm dropping body chopping lyrics for the suckers out there who are rap critics. So let's soak in the madness of the rhyme. But so much scared of that because of the terror tracks. And these lyrics are straight graphic. Plus I'm swinging the mic like it's a hat chick, cutting up the grooves, G. Yo, listening to my lyrics is like watching a horror movie. Terror beyond control, unleashing the fury of 1,000 crazy souls. The morbid mind of a basket case with the word death written on my face. Yo, place mine, holy doctrine by the dead and then forgotten suckers lying right under the earth. Mama gave birth to a psycho. Now that you know me, how you gonna reason with a psycho? Psycho, psycho, psycho.
What up, y'all? I'm Fatz King, and this is Do It for the Underground, and this is our special Goats Only episode. And the goat that I'm going to be talking about is Geno Cultshit. Specifically, I'm going to be talking about his album, A Beautiful Curse. Consider this your pre-warning. I'm going to talk about some really heavy shit, including self-harm, suicide, depression, and a lot of really, really graphic topics. This is your only warning. I've been alone with this album for going on almost a month and a half, listening to it at least 2 to 3 times a day to make sure I get all my thoughts and feelings correct on this. And this is just my interpretations of this as a fan of this genre and as a fan of this album. This is not any fact or anybody told me any of this. This is, again, just my interpretations of what these songs mean and how they were structured. I've broken this down into 2 categories: horrorcore and emotional. I'll explain that as we go for the reason why I've busted it down. And I've picked 3 songs from each of those categories because I just don't have time to talk about this entire album. Like I could, but I feel like the best thing I can do is to hit these high points and give you what I believe are the most important tracks on this album. Before we actually get into talking about the album, I got to give you a few pre-facts ahead of time. Garrett Erskine was born May 5th, 1988, and he passed away on August 18th, 2015. He was in a group called Dark Half with Damian Quinn.
You're the one they wanna see. Take away from everything. You're dead and dying. Why are you still crying?
You can go and find all of that. It's out there to listen to. It's great shit. But I don't want to focus on any of his group projects or features or anything like that. Today, we are just going to talk about A Beautiful Curse. This album was not released before he passed away. Just under a year after he had passed, friends and colleagues put this album together. There was a lot of effort taken to bring this to us, and I'd like to thank those men who did that. Thank you for bringing this to us. The first song we're going to start with goes in the horrorcore genre of our little list, and this song is called The One.
Run from love, I will keep you, you're the one. I still watch you through your window. You'll be mine, and it's that simple.
The bare bones of horrorcore is a scary story, and this one is fucking terrifying. As soon as the beat drops, there's this ghostly, wailing, eerie sound in the background. Sounds like a woman, maybe just crying in the background. And Geno tells us, as I said before, a scary story of a girl he just couldn't let go of, even though he never talked to her, always watched her through the window, as he tells us. She would love him back. Even though she was married, she will see through love why she is the one. And that's the song. Just imagine the idea of watching someone every day and they never know you're fucking there. This brings up feelings of like a serial killer Richard Chase or things like that, where it's the narrative they've played in their head. You don't even have a say in. You're just the most important fucking thing to them. And in that, a madman comes in and takes your whole world away. I won't go into how deep and graphic this song gets, but this is in the vein of like ICP's Prom Queen, things like that, where you gotta make someone love you, and he does. And it's, like I said, it's very, very fucking graphic. But as I warned before, all of this album is very graphic. Geno was a very tortured artist, and that's why the second category is the emotional or suicidal, however you want to categorize it. And the three songs I picked from this, they're as well as everything else I said, pretty heavy. And before I get into this isn't a trigger warning, but this is just a statement. If you ever feel like you can't go on, if you ever feel like it's too much, please call someone, text the suicide hotline, call the number, do something. Just do something. The song is Everyone Moves On.
As the day goes on, a part of me hopes that you hear this song. Even though I know it's pointless, please pray for me when I'm dead and gone. This life I lead led to a dead end like the one I grew up on. So if you feel my pain, you can fucking hands up and just sing along.
My feelings will never change. Wonder if you hear this and feel the same. But everyone moves on, baby. Everyone moves on.
I see this song as two stories. It's the tale of losing a relationship, but it's also his way of telling everyone it'll be okay. And even though he's gone, you'll move on too. If you ever feel this way, if you're ever feeling like there's no hope, please call someone, text someone, reach out to somebody. Somebody's listening. There's always some kind of hope. There's a point, there's a lyric he uses. He says, you can tell I've been gone for a long time now. And there's just this level of exhaustion. You can hear it in his voice. He was just so tired. And he just wanted everyone to know that it was okay. It was okay that he was gone. And I know it's hard to see that, but that's the only way I can take it. That exhaustion radiates through this whole track of just a man who was in pain and was tired of being. The second track that falls under the horrorcore selection of our categories, so Welcome to Hell. This is the last track on the album, and it is a blistering fucking way to go out. This is quintessential horrorcore. It is a frightening journey into the mind of a monster.
down, crucifix, get my fix from fucking dead hoes and these opiates, killing them all, I'll never fall, I get a rush from socket bad bitches.
I hear this song, but I swear I see it in first person view. As Geno details the madness within, I can practically see the blood on my own hands. He wants his victims to be afraid, and trust me, with the brutal beats and visceral bars, you fucking will be. This is an inescapable nightmare. It's the way it's presented, and he uses a line. He says that I'm not Freddy, I'm a real nightmare. Geno Cultshit, and the serenade of the chorus. Welcome to hell, hallelujah. It is powerful how brutal this fucking song is. And again, as I stated, there are lots of graphic, detailed images that I'm just not going to go into details. You can hear it for yourself. The second song that falls into the emotional category is called Sing For Me.
Sing for me. Well, now I'm dead and gone. Oh, all the things I should have changed. All the things I should have changed. Don't pray for me. We never got along. Oh, this world can be so strange. You'll love me when I'm gone.
Before I really dive into this is my favorite track on the album and is honestly in my top 10 of songs ever fucking written, period. As soon as this bluesy bass line kicks in, Geno just brings us in with one simple phrase. He says,
Well, I don't know what I'm doing.
and this is the most beautiful song about a horrible subject you'll ever fucking hear. It's the sound of someone who's letting go. It's the sound of a man who knows that his time is up. The blending of his beautiful singing voice with the hard-edged lyrics explaining why he's letting go. It's a lot, man. And bar for bar, lyric for lyric, this is one of my favorite songs ever written, like I said before. His voice is so soulful, and it just you might shed a tear. If you do, fuck it, you're not the only one. This is a goddamn beautiful song, and I can't say enough how much I fucking love it. The last song I'm going to talk about in the horror section, and we've talked a lot about what horrorcore is, and this song, as a former addict myself, is the scariest thing I can fucking imagine.
Man, I swear to God, I'm about to lose my shit. Grab a knife, put it to my dome and squeeze it quick. Bro, you're tripping, I got another solution, just chill. Now I'm about to take my fucking life and end it for real. Fucking take this right here, crush it up and snort it right quick. What's this shit, man? It's heroin, don't be a little bitch. Man, it's fucking insane, why the hell would I do that? You're talking about killing yourself, just take it and relax. Anything's better than feeling like this. Yeah, and she don't give a fuck and I don't neither. Yeah, man, fucking give me that shit, I done tried this one time. This shit won't kill me right. Nah, you'll be fine.
In this one, Geno tells us the story through his voice of himself and his addiction. Do you know how hard it is to be afraid of yourself, to be afraid of what you might do if left alone, to know that you are your own worst enemy? You are the one who stole from your friends. You are the one who lied to your family. You were the one who broke all of those promises just to get high. It's truly one of the lowest feelings a human can have. And this tells in graphic detail what that fight looks and sounds like, and what it's like to lose that fight, and what it's like to know that you're not gonna see the next day because of this. There's a part where it's toward the end and he's realized that heroin's been lying to him the whole time, and he's like, I can't even go a day without using this shit. There's believability in this music that we're all supposed to give or have or whatever, but I truly believe he knew that heroin was going to win the fight. That's really fucking depressing. And there's a lot of that. This album, you come away with a lot of sighs and a lot of, man, what ifs. If you yourself are feeling like you're gonna lose the fight, please get help. Please reach out to someone. Call the addiction hotline. Call some fucking body, please. The last song I'm gonna talk about falls in the emotional spectrum. It's Killing Autumn.
All I do is stress. Anxiety is killing me. My OCD is eating me alive. I'm changing scenery. I can't take no more, but I can't take no less. We're completely undecided. We decided on our death. I prayed for suffocation when the bad days wouldn't pass. Started popping oxy, snorting heroin just to relax. But staring at that needle, knowing there's no coming back. Visions of my dad, tired of running from the past and overdose with end all that.
This song feels different than the rest. The beat's light, floaty. It feels better because it's over. No more pain, no more anxiety. And I think that's what he wanted people to feel. He wanted them to understand why it had to play out the way it did, and that he doesn't feel any of that anymore. This is Geno telling everyone he tried, but it wasn't enough. Christ's sake, the hook is him pleading, forgive me for what I've done.
Wish to shed my past like autumn sheds her leaves. Forgive me for what I've done.
So what is my final takeaway from Geno Cultshit, A Beautiful Curse? This is a very long, very detailed, very, very painful suicide letter. This is a man who knew he wasn't going to see the end of this project. He knew that it was going to kill him. He mentions it in one of the songs. He says this whole CD is going to be the death of me. And it's obvious to his friends and his family who truly lost someone. I'm so sorry for your loss, and I know that you feel it every day. And to those of you who reached out and helped me with this, thank you very much. You asked to remain uncredited. I will leave it that way, but I just want you to know from my heart, I am so sorry for your loss. And to us fans, what could have been? I talked to people who said that there were so many projects in the work that he was working on that would have just been so amazing. And it's like everything you take away from this, you always take away the same thing. It's just tragic. It's so goddamn depressing, and it's so tragic that he couldn't find his way through, and coincidentally enough, joined the 2027 club, like some of his heroes. I'm sure that wasn't what he wanted, but that's kind of some irony there, isn't it? So thank you for coming with me through this journey of Geno Cultshit, A Beautiful Curse. And back to you, Robbie.
You guys did a kick-ass job tonight, man.
What are you talking about? I don't do music.
Shut the fuck up, you should do.
I was a fan.
You're half of the fucking best group in the
Listen
underground.
out. Is that magic, dude?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Do It for the Underground. I, of course, am your host, Robbie. Always have been, always will be, unless I gift the show to some fucking buddy else. It'd probably be Fatz, honestly. He'd do a good job with it. I trust him. But for now, you got me. And what do I got for you? I got Low Key. I mentioned it up top at the beginning of the show, but in my opinion, and honestly the opinion of many people, this underground has never seen an artist as important, as prolific, as long-lasting, as influential as Low Key. I would say Insane Clown Posse, Twisted, Esham, and Tech9 are maybe the only artists this underground horrorcore scene has ever seen that surpass or even come close to the influence of Low Key. He's been in the scene for over 20 years at this point, touched the careers or influenced almost all of your favorites. And honestly, don't take my word for it. Hear what these people have to say.
Low Key is definitely the shit.
We all kind of have one string that holds, like, that kind of weave this all together, and I have to give that fucking prop to Low Key. Loke has had a hand in all of our products.
I got Low Key's full CD in my car right now. That ought to let you know that shit is authentic.
Low Key's a fucking giant influence, though. Like, we probably would not be here doing what we're doing if it wasn't for him.
No doubt.
Rain, fucking 7SE, all that shit.
Loke's the only person from back in the days that I listen to now. He's the only one.
How'd you two fellas meet each other?
Low Key.
It's a great one. Low Key? Oh,
Low
really?
Key.
Hell yeah.
Straight the fuck up. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
If it
Absolutely.
wasn't for Low Key, we wouldn't have met.
Pretty cool lineup, huh? Pretty solid list of folks. One thing about Low Key is, having been around as long as he's been, touching on different genres, different styles, different series of albums, different supergroups, different all kinds of stuff. The man's discography can be overwhelming for newcomers and daunting. Honestly, when I started getting into him, I didn't know where to fucking start. There's so many records. A lot of them sound different. Is this a horrorcore guy? Is this a rock guy? Is this just a hip hop rapper? What is Mission Infect? Who is Neon Sermon? You know what I mean? There's a lot to tackle. And so here we have, as a gift to you, the beautiful audience, a deep discography delvey dive into the world of Low Key, top to bottom. We're starting at the very beginning. We're ending just weeks ago with a brand new release. And we're going to touch on everything in between. We're not going to get super deep into some of the biography stuff, some of the big shows he played, some of the people he was associated with. All that is for another time. We'll do a deeper multi-part history of Low Key thing, but this is about the music. This is a beginner's guide to Low Key. Low Key's earliest forays into music were as a member of various rock and metal bands in the Pennsylvania area, his home state, but his first foray into horrorcore was with a little group called Temple Rain. Temple Rain was a 3-person group consisting of Low Key, Apparition, and Sleepy. Low Key and Temple Rain created the Seventh Seal Entertainment label and released 2 projects before disbanding. The first, The Awakening, is the only full-length Temple Rain album. It's a little touch and go. Sound quality varies, recording quality varies. This is definitely some young guys taking a stab at making rap music for the first time. And don't start with this one. Come back to it once you've got an appreciation of the rest of the catalog, and then, appreciate where it came from. But as a beginner, I would not start here. Temple Rain followed The Awakening with the Lost Boys Volume 1 EP. The Lost Boys Volume 1 EP is currently available nowhere. So if you're good at illegal downloading, track it down, find it. It is, in my opinion, the vastly superior Temple Rain record, but it is also very hard to come by. So if you're dedicated to the cause, figure it out. If not, you can wait till the solo stuff. Once The Lost Boys Volume 1 was released, Temple Rain went back into the studio to record their second full length, which was to be called Evolution. Unfortunately, about halfway through recording this record, Temple Rain dissolved, Low Key moved to Tennessee, and the tracks were just kind of pushed to the side for the time being. The tracks that were finished from Evolution were eventually released on a Seventh Seal Entertainment compilation called Repressed Memories, which featured kind of loose, unreleased tracks from everyone on the label at the time. Low Key, Mad Max, The Wicked One, Stitch Mouth. It's a pretty spotty EP, but if you can find it, it's worth downloading to kind of pull the best stuff out of. There's some cool Low Key songs. There's the original version of Mad Max's Come and Get Me. There's a bunch of tracks that were recorded for Evolution that was cut off. Songs like Corpses in the Morgue, which I think are the best that Temple Rain had to offer. So track it down, pull the best songs out of it. You can make a nice little The Evolution What Could Have Been playlist, which I would recommend. With Temple Rain over, Low Key started his solo career in earnest, starting with the Follow Me EP. Follow Me was released in April of 2005, and it's just a nice little horrorcore EP. The production and the subject matter are pretty in line with what you're going to get from mid-2000s horrorcore, but Low Key already is a much better rapper than a lot of the people that were out at the time. Tracks like Follow Me and Broken Reflection still, I think, hold up to this day and are worth seeking out.
A devilish incarnation displacing the holy nation with lacerations and rapings. The world is mine for the taking. Invading suburban circles, the words of a cursed virtue. I strike like a white serpent, disturbed that I might hurt you.
Around this time, Low Key was getting a nice little following on MySpace, and to nourish that, he released 3 tracks on the platform called the MySpace Covers Songs EP, where he rapped over instrumentals from Britney Spears, NERD, Gwen Stefani. Just kind of a fun, silly project, not horrorcore, just kind of light and goofy. And these tracks became so popular that he decided to expand it and release it as a 6-track EP called Jack Yo Beats Volume 1. Jack Yo Beats would go on to be a pretty popular series for Low-Key. It all started with MySpace. Later that year, in October of 2005, Low-Key went to a Halloween store, as a lot of us do around October, picked up a cheap foam mask that called to him, called a Cool Ghoul, and took some pictures and posted them online. And people went fucking bananas for these pics. They loved it. What is this? The coolest you've ever looked, Low-Key? We got to know more about what this is all about. And so, inspired by this whole situation, he went in to record a Halloween-themed EP. A fun little bit of music for the spooky season. He incorporated the mask into the music, putting it on the album cover for what would become The House. The House is a little 5-track spooky story about a serial killer who lures people into his house and kills them in the various rooms. The basement, the attic. You get the picture.
Welcome to hell's waiting room. Up in the attic, black magic be a ritual practice. Bones scattered all over the floor like matchsticks. Drag you up the ladder to the attic above. Waking up to the sounds of the maggots and bugs.
The House again elevated Low-Key status within the horrorcore scene. People took to it like you take to things you like. I don't know. People took to it. In January of 2006, the 7th Seal entertainment roster of the time, Low-Key, Mad Max, The Wicked One, and Stitchmouth, released a group project called The Devil's Rejects. The Devil's Rejects released a one-off album called Die to This, which can currently be found exclusively on The Wicked One's streaming profiles. This is still really early days for these guys, but it's a fun walk down memory lane to hear these guys basically trying to one-up each other on how dark, evil, blasphemous, etc. they can be. Not all of it holds up, but it's a fun listen. Low-Key released his first full-length solo album, So Low, on May 15th of 2006. This is absolutely not a horrorcore album. This is Low-Key's first attempt at putting together a pretty straightforward hip-hop album. There's party songs, there's just cool guy hip-hop songs, there's some personal talk. Overall, this album is way too long and has a lot of filler. There's like 5 remixes at the end of it. It's worth checking out if you're a big fan or if you're, again, a completist, but if you're just dipping a toe into the Low-Key catalog for the first time, I might skip this one till later. Low-Key followed Solo with Jack Yo Beats Volume 2, the second in the Jack Yo Beats series. This was already a level up from Solo and Jack Yo Beats Volume 1. Similar subject matter, similar fun, silly, lighthearted stuff, but this time he was experimenting with faster flows and really leveled up as a rapper for this one. Still not anything I would call a pivotal Low-Key release, but it's a fun little EP. On Halloween of 2006, Low-Key released The House 2. Obviously, the sequel to The House 1. This time around, Low-Key's serial killer character from the first record is a ghost haunting the house as a family moves in, and each track on The House 2 goes through how he would drive each member of this family to kill themselves, since he can't do it himself as a ghost. So be it suicide, drug overdose, etc. This is a huge step up for Low-Key. This is what I would call the first, great Low-Key project. His sense of melody is much stronger here. The hooks are better. There's a moodiness to all of it that it's just a really great step in the evolution of Low-Key.
She cannot eat, she cannot sleep, she cannot fight back, she's too weak. In her head, the voices said they want him dead, her eyes are.
Low-Key quickly followed The House 2 at the end of 2006 with a compilation of rare tracks, features, outtakes, things he had done that didn't make his other records, called Release. Release is honestly a really good snapshot of the early period of Low-Key and all the different things he did, from horrorcore to straight up hip hop. I would say if you're looking to check out this early chunk of Low-Key material, I would go with The House 2 and Release as introductory points. In early 2007, Low-Key started a new chapter of his career which still looms pretty large to this day over everything he's done since. See, throughout 2006, Low-Key had been flyering, promoting his work, and building a street team to help with that he was calling Mission Infect. And then as 2006 became 2007, he turned Mission Infect into a supergroup of sorts for underground rappers. The early version of the group consisted of Low-Key, Tone Z, Bad Luck, and Gruesome, and they released 2 albums, Chemical Threats 1 and Chemical Threats 2, in April of 2007. Over the next couple years, Mission Infect would grow to include rappers like Mad Max, Saint Sinna, Malaria, The Wicked One, and they would release 2 more albums with this expanded lineup, Extermination and Asphyxiation. These are, I think, where you should start if you're diving into Mission Infect for the first time. I think the larger lineup is superior, and I think the production and the writing really gelled, especially on Extermination. The group also released a bunch of mixtapes, which are hard to find these days unless you're digging for them in the deep, dark, illegal parts of the internet. Also at this time, Low-Key and fellow Mission Infect member Tone Z released an album as a duo under the name Death Before Dishonor. While most of this period Low-Key was focused on group projects, he found the time to release his second overall and his first truly great solo album called Chameleatic. Chameleatic is the follow-up to Solo in that it is not a horrorcore album. It is a hip-hop album. It speaks about the life of Jonathan Thompson, the man behind Low-Key. It starts with a track called 1984 that kind of goes through his life to this point.
Locked in 1984, I was born filling depths where they cut through my umbilical cord. I was put up for adoption and sent through the courts. Mom's only 18, I ain't blaming her for it. I was raised Jonathan Thompson, brought up well. Was put through the public school system as hell. Was fucked with for being the outcast, the quiet one. But if you're listening to this, you know just where I'm coming from.
There's some fun songs about video games and smoking cigs, some heavy stuff, some breakup stuff, and it ends with a moody track called End of an Era, in which Low-Key says,
God help horrorcore, make way for the 12 oracles. Look into my life, look into my eyes, you will see a killer. Same day you made it to the end of an era. This is the end of an era. This is the end of me.
Now at the time, no one knew what this meant, but soon you'll know what it means when we get there. So just wait patiently. By the end of 2009, Mission Infect had quietly disbanded, and Low-Key had taken a step away from music, claiming that he was completely exhausted and worn down by the last handful of years. Low-Key would not return to music until February of 2011 when he released Release 2, which marked his return and kind of just was a nice little snapshot of the Mission Infect era overall. It doesn't include any songs from the Mission Infect albums, but a bunch that were on the mixtapes and features he did on other members of the group's records. After coming back to the fold with Release 2, Low-Key would spend the rest of 2011 hyping arguably his most important album yet, Shadowland.
Together we venture hand in hand where the weak won't go, where the light can't stand in the space outside of the timeless sands in the darkest depths of the Shadowland.
Low-Key's Shadowland was released on October 31st of 2011 and would be the first entry into a new series he was introducing called The 12 Oracles. The 12 Oracles are a series of albums, 12 in total, that delve into concepts from Low-Key's recurring dreams and sleep paralysis. While there are elements of horror to this album, and even some straight-up horrorcore rapping, Shadowland was by far the furthest from traditional rap Low-Key had gotten at this point. The music includes rock elements, industrial elements, strong melody. This was a whole step in a different direction that no one anticipated before it came out, and really started to set Low-Key apart from the rest of the pack of the horrorcore rappers he was kind of lumped in with at the time. Being the first in the series, Shadowland still comes with it some of the trappings of horrorcore and isn't fully removed from what he was doing generally at the time yet, but it's a great step into a wholly new direction for Low-Key. Low-Key followed Shadowland in March of 2012 with American Monster.
I think it's time to break in my brand new knife. set, low key, known to slice flesh and bite necks, and that's just my mic check. It ain't even night yet. Oh, you wanna fight bet? Leave you fucking lifeless.
American Monster is much closer to a traditional horrorcore record, one of the best of the era, I would say, and would kick off arguably the most popular period of Low-Key's career over the next few years. Just 1 month after the release of American Monster, Low-Key released the Fraggle Swag EP. Fraggle Swag was kind of intended as a parody of the swag rap of the early 2010s.
I'm on that Fraggle swag. I'm on that Fraggle swag. I got that Fraggle swag. Fraggle swag. Fraggle swag.
And some of the Rick Ross, Lex Luger produced stuff at the time. You got Low-Key talking about swag, having it, and Fraggles for some fucking reason. Fraggles, if you're not familiar, are a Jim Henson creation. They had a show called Fraggle Rock between 1983 and 1987. And for whatever reason, in 2012, they were on Low-Key's mind. And he released a stupid-ass EP, rapping about him and having a blast. Fraggle Swag has become kind of an inside joke of sorts with Low-Key fans and has really lasted as something that people enjoy and just think is fun. It's not available for streaming anywhere. It is available on listentolowkey.com for download. So check it out. It's fun and silly. On June 7th of 2013, Low-Key released Let's Get Violent. This is still probably Low-Key's most popular record ever. It features King of Horrorcore and Chainsaw Symphony. Which are still two of Low-Key's signature songs. If you're looking for an introduction to the horrorcore side of Low-Key, this is where I would start. I would give this a spin immediately. This is not too long, not too short, just a nice, perfect little Low-Key horrorcore record. One of the top in his catalog, and absolutely worth your time. But as always, refusing to be boxed in, Low-Key followed Let's Get Violent with The Book of Time on Halloween of 2014. The Book of Time is the second Oracle following Shadowland and is just wildly different than anything Low-Key had done at this point. It features some of the melody and some of the songwriting elements of Shadowland, but put through a completely different filter. There's no horrorcore rap to be found here. This is, industrial and electronic elements, rock elements, sitars, flutes. This is not a hip-hop album. This is not like anything Low-Key had done at this point. Even Shadowland, this is way different than Shadowland. And the melody and the songwriting is just on another level. Songs like Bleed and My Dark Empire will probably be stuck in your head for the rest of your life. This is a great record. It's, like I said, not horrorcore or rap at all. So if that's all you like, it might not be for you. If you like music as a whole, or if you're willing to check out something a little bit different, highly recommended. I love this record so much. This is one of the best Low-Key albums in my opinion. In 2015, the following year, Low-Key released the Dedicated EP as a thank you to fans who had helped him raise funds to buy an RV to live and record in. Dedicated is much closer to the chameleonic style of songwriting in that it's rap songs, but they are heartfelt, sincere, as the story behind the album might lead you to believe. They're very gracious songs. The EP ends with a song called Remember, which is basically just a dedication to the fans and one of my favorite all-time Low-Key songs. It's great.
Yeah, it's hard to put into words how I'm feeling in this moment as I journey the earth. I really started out with nothing and my life was a blur, but you put me into focus, so I think you deserve my dedication and my passion when you're seeing me live to make sure every single person left the club with a smile.
And then 10 full years from the last installment, Low-Key released Jack Yo Beats Volume 3 on May 15th of 2016. This is another one of Low-Key's most popular releases to date. It features beats from Iggy Azalea.
Nasty with the verbals, I'm the illest. Mouth gutter like a pre-Jurassic alligator grilling. Bitch, I don't bite lyrics, but I'm chomping on your jugular right after strangulation, suffocation, and a bunch of drugs.
And Fetty Wap, and it's just a really, really fun, lighthearted rap EP. Really worth checking out. Good stuff here. Later that same year, in October of 2016, Low-Key released another horrorcore project called Demon Days. Demon Days is a short little EP that features Low-Key getting back together with Mad Max after some years off. It also features the original version of Into the Fire, featuring Ala Zuli Lou, which would later be a standout track on their Almighty album. Demon Days, I think, is a really slept-on EP, but is some of the best horrorcore Low-Key has to offer. Highly recommended. And then if the reconciliation with Mad Max didn't tip you off, 8 years after they had disbanded, Mission Infect returned in 2017 to release 3 new albums on New Year's Eve 2017 into 2018. Chemical Threats 3, Chemical Threats 4, and Chemical Threats X. These 3 albums featured all your favorite members of the previous Mission Infect lineup, minus Tone Z, and added Dirty, Dubs, and others to really make for the 3 greatest Mission Infect records of all time, in my opinion. Having somebody like Dubs in the mix to do choruses, Dirty's energy and voice really bring a lot to these records. A lot of the all-time best Mission Infect songs, I think, are on these projects. Basically, they release a triple album in one day, and it's fantastic. If you're curious about Mission Infect and don't know where to start, I would start with these 3 records, easily. Low-Key performed live for the final time, both as a solo artist and as a member of Mission Infect, on May 28th, 2018. Low-Key cited severe social anxiety as the reason that he would no longer be performing, and basically just retired from live performance as a whole. To this day, he has not stepped on a stage that was not VR. One of the byproducts of Low-Key no longer doing live performances was the release of a fuck ton of music. The next few years were the busiest Low-Key had been releasing music-wise since the mid-2000s when his solo career and Mission Infect both started. In October of 2018, Low-Key released Candy Corn and Cover Songs, a short album of cover songs from everyone from Insane Clown Posse to Toadies to Halsey. This is a really diverse collection of tracks from a really diverse collection of artists, done in a cool way by Low-Key, and really foreshadowed the kind of music that he would be touching on in the next couple of years, from piano ballads to alternative rock to metal. If you're curious where the next few years are going, this is a great little taste. Low-Key released the Nightcrawlers album, 20 tracks, on May 1st of 2019. Nightcrawlers is sort of a cross between a new Low-Key album and a compilation. It features a slew of artists from the underground scene. Everyone from familiar faces from Mission Infect, like Mad Max and Gruesome, to people like Buckshot, to people you've never heard of, might never hear of. But overall, it's a really well put together, solid Low-Key release. Low-Key is great on every track. The majority of the guests are good. This is a sleeper, really good Low-Key record. And then just a month later, Low-Key released Jackie O Beats 4 on June 1st of 2019. This is another quick little EP of stolen beats from contemporary songs. Again, a lot of fun, some party rapping, some silly, lighthearted stuff. Another solid Low-Key release. And then 6 years after the previous installment, Low-Key released the third Oracle, the Book of Izu, on February 1st of 2020. The Book of Izu is dark. It's the most metal of all the Low-Key projects up to this point. There's like an electronic, glitchy Metallica cover. There's a lot of screaming and roaring and all kinds of meddling going on. Really cool record, really unique record in Low Key's catalog, as all of the oracles have been so far. You never know what you're going to get with an oracle until you push play, and this one's no different. It doesn't sound like Book of Time. It doesn't sound like Shadowland. It's its own thing, and it's honestly probably just as good as the other two. It's a really cool record. Low Key released Release 3 on July 6th of 2020. This is again a compilation of Lucy's feature verses from other people's tracks. It's got tracks with Buckshot and Ala Zuli Lou. It's got tracks with people from Mission Infect. It's got solo tracks. It's another, snapshot of what Low Key was up to outside of his own records for the last 9 years or so at this point. In that same year, Release 3 was followed by Candy Corn and Cover Songs 2, this one leaning heavier into the rock and metal elements of the first one. Covers from White Zombie and Tool. And a real focus on guitar, bass, drums, live instrumentation. This is, again, another unique record, as it seems like they all are, in Low Key's catalog, and really interesting, really cool, worth checking out. And then in an unprecedented move, Low Key released his second oracle within 1 year with The Eyes of Parasuva on Halloween of 2020. Although this record was released very close, just months apart from The Blood of Izu, it could not be more different. It's a lot closer actually to, I would say, Book of Time, but still really different than that. The songwriting is more intricate. The melodies are strong. This is definitely Low Key's strongest album as a singer-songwriter, which is an interesting thing to say. There's two versions of the record that come together as the same record. Basically, there's the chained mix and the unchained mix. The chained mix is more the kind of instrumentation you would expect from an oracle. You've got Eastern influences, rock influences, industrial influences.
Through time we flow. No ground to fall on. I meant to say, what's it matter now? I'm sure you found your way.
And then the unchained mix is the same songs, just on acoustic guitar and piano.
Through time we flow. With no ground to fall on.
So basically you've got like the full band version and the unplugged version as one album on streaming. Both are really cool, both are really different. I think this might be my favorite oracle personally. This is a really, really good record. It's really different. It's not rap, it's not horrorcore, but if you're patient with it and you like a variety of music genres, I think there's something here that you're gonna like. I'd really highly recommend it. Low Key released Metanoia, what he called a new metal album, on May 16th of 2020. Metanoia, I would not say is quite a new metal album front to back. There are new metal elements. There's also alternative rock elements, maybe 2000s radio rock elements. But overall, this is a really good album. Another completely fucking different record for him, as seems to be the case with every record at this point. The songwriting's really strong. Bad Luck makes an appearance, as does a new character named Crux One, who we'll get into shortly. This is, a really cool rock record. Again, unexpected. And then just 2 months later, on July 9th of 2021, Cabal, a brand new group featuring Low Key, Buckshot, and Mr. Gray, released their first album, The Watchers. Cabal is a horrorcore project released on Buckshot's Mob Style music label. This kind of works as like a Buckshot project that features Low Key. Low Key's not like the core creative mind behind it. Beats are produced by Seven, who you might be familiar with from like Strange Music stuff and Twisted stuff, Magic Ninja stuff. This is a really cool record. These guys sound good together. Low-key gets in his horrorcore bag in a way that he hadn't in a few years at this point.
Watching the clouds turn crooked and angled, the crowd wrangled, yelling, look up, there's an angel. A child said, mommy, why's his skin so mangled? The horns on his head are making his halo dangle.
There's a really cool final track called Maelstrom, which features all the members of Cabal along with Twisted, Ala Zululu, and super famous Funtime guys. A real fucking killer of a horrorcore track.
Temper distant steel, watch the game change. Warhammer crack skull, we are not the same. The sky's red and clouds crack as I start to roll back. The false sense of light, all side, let the side laugh. You'll die, so decide that.
I would really highly recommend The Watchers by Cabal. And then Low-Key ended 2021 and started 2022 with a series of singles with very similar cover art called Dominate, Unbreakable, and Stay Strong that all kind of seemed like they were going to be from an album. They had basically matching cover art, similar, production and themes. They seemed like shit that can get you nice and pumped up at the gym, maybe.
We dominate, everything that sees me knows I'm a motherfucking beast. We dominate, these hoes all up on me cause they all wanna take a piece.
This was high energy, confident rap.
will not decide my fate, no matter how high the stakes. I will not fall, no matter what the time or place, because I was not designed to break. Remain in control.
I would have loved to see an album, if this was ever to be a part of one, if it's just 3 singles. They're 3 great singles. Check them out, make a playlist. And there was a 4th single called Villainous featuring Kung Fu Vampire and the ROC. Had very different cover art, didn't necessarily seem connected to this project, but also very good song. On February 22nd of 2022, Low-Key released Nightcrawlers 2, obviously the follow-up to Nightcrawlers 1. Again, we've got a slew of guests from the underground in here. This time, the formula's off on this one. I don't think it holds up to Nightcrawlers 1 in that we had a pretty even match on the first one of unknowns and knowns. You know what I mean? So you'd have a Joker, you'd have someone like a Mad Max or a Gruesome, a Dubs. Nightcrawlers 2, there's a lot less of those names and a lot more unknowns, which is not a bad thing necessarily. Unknowns can be great. A lot of these unknowns are not great, and it's kind of a slog. Low-Key is great on every track. His verses and choruses are standout, but overall, this one kind of is a miss for me. In the spring of 2022, Low-Key announced a brand new group called Neon Sermon. Neon Sermon featured Low-Key, Crux One, and Batty Bat. Crux One is a super fast technical rapper with a cool voice. And Batty Bat is a metal vocalist as well as Low-Key's partner. And together they formed a group that was about space, aliens, and partying. Their debut album 001 is super fun. The beats on here lean into dubstep and electronic sounds, and lyrically, yeah, they're talking space, they're talking eating mushrooms, they're talking drinking. This is another really left field, really unexpected project, totally different than what was expected, and again, a success. And then in the fall of 2022, Low-Key started rolling out a series of singles that would lead to an album called Portraits of Horror. Batty Bat was releasing a series of singles at the same time that would lead to her Fall from Grace album. The original plan for these projects was that every 3 weeks, both Low-Key and Batty Bat would release a new single, and once 10 singles had been released, the album would be released as a whole. Unfortunately, somewhere along the line, communications got cut with Seven, who was producing Portraits of Horror, and the album got stopped at 5 songs. This is super unfortunate because Portraits of Horror was shaping up to be the all-time great Low-Key horrorcore project. The songs combined really good storytelling, really strong imagery, and brought in some of the mystical oracle elements into the horrorcore realm, and were really shaping up to be a super, super cool record. What was completed of the record did come out as a 5-song EP with an intro called Portraits of Horror, but I'll always kind of be bummed about what could have been. But as it stands, the Portraits of Horror EP is very much worth your time. Songs like Remote Control, Burn the Witch,
Now you've been courted and time to
you a stake. You're raised in the air, you cannot escape. And now you must pay for all your mistakes. The last thing you hear is gather round the proud and righteous.
You're My Everything.
You're my everything, no matter what the weather brings. Your voice is right there, and you lead me to better things. I know we're meant to be together.
Are some of the great low-key songs, even if there's not 10 of them. A second Cabal album called The Pit was released on August 25th of 2023. Again, we've got Low-Key, we've got Buckshot, we've got Mr. Gray, we've got Seven, fresh off of ghosting the Portraits of Horror project. This one is about as good as The Watchers, maybe a little less good to me. Might be a few tracks too long. You know, I like everything Low-Key's doing on here, but at more than an hour long, it gets a little samey after a while. Not as much repeat listen value as The Watchers, but still good. On Halloween of 2023, Mission Infect released Get Your Mask On, their first song since Chemical Threats 3, 4, and X back in 2017. This track featured a core lineup of Low-Key, Gruesome, and Bad Luck talking their shit, telling their soldiers to get their mask on.
Infect the weed upon us, get your mask on. We going door to door to get our blast on. Back in the day, they said infected would it last long. Let them motherfuckers in the past, get your mask on.
This single led to the eventual release of Armageddon, the first Mission Infect release since 2017. Armageddon was surprise released at the end of a VR event called the Infect House Party. This record was centered around the core group of Low-Key, Gruesome, and Bad Luck, but had plenty of verses from people like Mad Max, Saint Sinna, Dubs, Dirty. Most of the cast of the previous 3 records returned here in some form or fashion. These songs are all super good. This is a great entry into the Mission Infect catalog, and hopefully there's more to come. And this all leads us to Low-Key's latest release, which couldn't find a sillier way to go out than to end it on Fraggle Swag 2. Fraggles in Space, bitch. This time, Fraggle Swag 2 was released under the name Ghost Pretty. It's still not available on streaming, just like the first one. It's got stolen beats and it's very silly, so you have to go to listenToLowKey.com or buy a physical copy at Shadowlandshop.com. This is a lot of fun. Again, Low-Key is poking fun at the rap styles of the day, as well as just talking about Fraggles a lot and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for some fucking reason.
Nothing in my bag except some Fraggle swagging.
Peanut butter jelly and a glass of milk.
Yeah, 2 a.m. baby. Got them munchies, baby. Got you going crazy. Nothing left to save me. Pull the knife out the drawer. You know I'm in this bitch.
Peanut butter jelly and a glass of milk.
Yeah.
The man's a maniac. It must be stopped. This shit is silly and fun, and I suggest picking it up. And that's that. It was long, it was daunting, and it was rewarding, just like the catalog itself. Low-Key is the GOAT, in my opinion. No one can touch him outside of, like I said, a small list of people like ICP and Twisted. You know, he's up there with those guys, in my opinion. Without Low-Key, we wouldn't have the super famous Funtime guys. We might not know Ala Zulu the way we do. He was the first guy to sell masks, which is a huge part of this scene at this point. He's cited as an influence from everyone from the LLE camp to Doc Gruesome to Stray. He's been championed multiple times by Violent J. Low-Key is a legend, and if you're sleeping on him, stop now. Go check out some Low-Key. In the description below, we've got a playlist of kind of a greatest hits, somewhere easy to start if you don't want to jump into a full album. If you do want to jump into a full album, I would say start with Let's Get Violent if you want horrorcore, The Eyes of Parasuva if you want something completely unique and interesting, Chameleatic if you want heartfelt hip-hop, and if you want to hear a group project, jump into Mission Infect Chemical Threats Volumes 3 and 4, and if you just want some fucking fun party rap, check out Jackio Beats 3 and 4. Those are, I would say, highlights. Those are things to start with. If you disagree and you think I'm an idiot and you think there are better highlights, put it in the comments. Tell me what your favorite Low-Key record is. Tell me how you heard of Low-Key. Did you hear about him here? Because that's crazy if so. And I'm sorry, but I'm glad we showed it to you. For now, here is, you guessed it, Low-Key with the video for King of Horrorcore off the Let's Get Violent album right here on Do It For The Underground.
They try their best to erase me. I don't think so, put a blade where your brain be. I don't need help, yo, it's too late to save me. Crazed and insane, I pray to hell daily. All who oppose get chained in my basement. Finally a new specimen for me to play with. Oh, how I long for the screams of a fake bitch. Fake tits dripping blood red to the pavement. Hey yo, this bottle of Colada is the only fucking reason reason that your body ain't a condiment that's sitting in a Ziploc bag inside a freezer door. Kill cause I can, what the fuck I need a reason for? I tied a Facebook model to an oak tree, soaked it in gas and then I lit the match slowly. Make yourself at home, now you finally get to know me. And when you get to hell, listen for the name low-key. In the darkness, slut. Otherwise, you be chilling in the garbage dump with a carved up gut and a 7 on your forehead. Cut off your legs, leave them on your mama doorstep. Ha, act like you never heard of me, burning up every verb that I heard of, and now it's circling me, making you say that low-key's the illest. It's no concern to me. I got a stab right through your speaker and make you worship me. To murder your neck purposely, earn your respect. Fuck you, I'll open your flesh vertically. Yes, I confess, I love painting the room burgundy. Puncture your chest, surgery, serving it for eternity. I turn a lawnmower upside down and rev it on stage, right in front of the crowd. Beat low so you can hear this sound. The lower low-key haters in the blades like pow. Fuck the scene, fuck the dream, fuck your scheming ass. As your spinal fluid seep into my demon mask. I don't even need a mask, hoodie up, creeping past. Looked you up, here at last, now I got you in my grasp.
Ladies and gentlemen, that has been our show. I know it was different than what we normally do around here, but I think it was worth it. I think you got some content to grow on. Maybe you learned some things. Maybe you just were reminded of a record you haven't heard in a while and you want to go back to. I don't know. Come back next week. We'll have all the gathering talk you can even possibly handle. As always, please subscribe to the show. Thank you for watching. Playlists are down below, including Diff Tug Radio, which always features the latest and greatest in the underground today, and the low-key starter pack to get you on that journey. You know what? Fuck it. We'll throw a Dark Half and Geno Cultshit starter pack in there too. 3 playlists this time, just for you, right here on Do It For The Underground. I'm Robbie. I love you. Thank you for watching. A lot of hand stuff, a lot of gesturing, including that one. Goodbye.